And I'd like to bring to the microphone right now Peter Hinkle. I think I got that right, from the National Heritage Center for Constitutional Studies, located right here in Epping, New Hampshire, under the leadership of Diane Gilbert. And I have the honor of being the Master of Ceremonies at their event out in Portsmouth, which is going to feature, I wish they could bring in better speakers. To tell me that Ambassador Alan Keyes is going to be your keynote speaker, whatever you think of Alan Keyes, he certainly has a way of getting attention, doesn't he? I don't know about you, but I'm excited to meet Ambassador Keyes. I'm excited to hear what he has to say. I'm obviously excited to be at the event. The one up at the Grapponi Center in Concord last year was a phenomenal event. They deserve a great deal of credit for the work they do. And by the way, folks, if any organization in this room deserves the undivided support and attention of all of us here, it is the National Center for Constitutional Studies, because from the Constitution it all comes, and from the Constitution they're all trying to take it away. And with that, Peter, former state representative, please come to the microphone on behalf of the National Heritage Center for Constitutional Studies. And I'm sorry, folks, there are fewer than 5 minutes for you to cast your vote in the straw poll. The voting has been heavy. Every vote counts. They're going to announce the results by the end of the day here, which is 3 o'clock. You have 5 minutes, for those of you in the back of the room, 5 minutes left to cast your ballot in the straw poll. Now I can bring Peter Hinkle to the microphone.
Thank you for that introduction. And let me clarify something. We didn't pay him to say all that, but that couldn't have been a better introduction. So I'm Pete Hinkle. I'm on the board of directors for the National Heritage Center for Constitutional Studies. And I just want to tell you a little bit about our organization and our program. When Carly spoke a little while ago, she mentioned the overbloated government that we have. And how did we get that? Well, the liberals have been at work for generations, I'm afraid, bringing that about. But people like Madison and Jefferson were very clear about the separation of the two levels of government, state and federal, and they were in all support of a separated federation, a federal government with limited defined powers, and what powers were not given to them by the Constitution were reserved to the state and to the people. So there was a definite vertical slicing of government, but split up into little segments. This group and that group, and they're being pitted against each other. We've got one way to pull them together, and that's around the Constitution, something that we know we can rely on, something that has been called the most amazing creation of government in history. So we're going to be working to do that for one occasion anyway, and we have a lot of other educational efforts that we put forth. We've got our Constitution Day dinner coming up September 20th at the Sheraton Hotel in Portsmouth. And we have a great list of speakers. You've already heard about a couple of them. Alan Keyes is going to be talking about the Constitution and the pro-life and pro-liberty implications of that Constitution. We've got Attorney Ed Vieira, an amazing speaker on the Constitution, a guy from Virginia who really knows the Constitution to a depth that you can hardly fathom. He's going to be talking about delegation, the lifeline of the administrative state. Then we have another amazing speaker, Dr. Paul Jaley. He's going to be talking about religious liberty. Does it have a future in America? He's a wonderful person to talk about that. He's the pastor of a church now near Plymouth, Massachusetts. He's also the headmaster of a Christian day school. He's carrying on this educational effort with his students every day. Then we have other speakers. We have somebody that you've already heard about, Harriet Caddy, talking about citizens' rights and how to get to know what your rights are and use the right to know law. And we have another person I don't need to introduce who will be talking about voter fraud. You can guess who that is. Then Paul Jaley will be talking, as I said, about religious liberty. And we have Kathy White talking about ethics of wealth redistribution. there's something we hear a lot about today. And I won't say who's helping to really forward that, but I don't want to get into that. So we've got a wonderful, amazing program starting 1/15, September 20, and hope you can all make it and stop by our booth over here by the door. And we have a flyer with all the information in it, plus some educational material that you might want to pick up for yourself. So thanks very much. Hope to see you September 20th.
And also at their booth, just a reminder, they have copies of the Jefferson Lies, an important book today as modern-day education and media types continue to rewrite history and turn Thomas Jefferson, the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence, into a piece of crap that should be thrown into the bottom of the Chesapeake Bay. Did I say that in my out loud radio voice? Folks, it's not enough for us to believe differently today. We need the facts, and the facts are found in history. And this book takes Thomas Jefferson's own writings from the time. And you will find, as I did, get the book. You will find, as I did, that so much of what we think we know today about Thomas Jefferson is just flat out wrong.
Crop TV.